What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
We're back here, episode 3, Shawn Walker Show today, covering all things Allen basketball. We'll be joined by assistant coach Matt Bennett today to talk about his basketball journey, but now we're here with the coach himself, sitting in the background with the fly glasses on there, my man Shawn Walker. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving and having a couple of days of break. I think myself, staff, and the kids need a little break here, so looking forward to spending some time with family and then coming back and getting ready for conference play.
I hear that. Now, Shawn, I know you mentioned last week on the show about Blue Lights, how fast they play, and how if you don't get back in defense transition, it could be a rough fight. Ball held them to 35 points and did a pretty good job for 44 points. And then the paint about that exhibition game played on Saturday at 2 o'clock at your gym there, man.
Yeah, Blue Lights was an opponent that obviously concerned me a little bit. I take it we were fortunate. They had some injuries. They had 3 or 4 guys that did not make the trip with them, and so we didn't get them at full strength. But I was, obviously proud of the way that we competed, irrespective of the opponent and what we were facing, because we only played the teams that are on the schedule. We can't control who shows up and who doesn't. So it's always good to get a win. That's a countable win for us, although the NCAA just does not recognize that game due to their enrollment situation, their accreditation status. But we had a good opportunity to score some points and to get up and down the floor a little bit, and also to be able to capitalize on some of the things that we've been working on throughout the week as we transition from Florida back home.
How happy were you with Austin James' performance scoring 14 points for you guys against Blue Lights there?
Well, Austin is a really good shooter for us. I mean, he can really make shots. He makes them normally in bunches. And so he's an important piece for us. It's important for us to try to get Austin to play the total game, both ends of the floor, and then for us to try to minimize the number of bad shots he takes. Sometimes Austin doesn't not really know at this point what type of shots it is that I want him to take, I should say. He thinks every shot's a good shot. But we do need him to put the ball in the basket. We need him to score for us, and stretch the floor from deep. So he is definitely a threat, and one that we need to use.
No doubt. And also Malik and Mike had 12 as well, so they play very well for you against the Bloods as well. So how pleased are you with their improvement from Florida to now?
Yeah, well, Malik Lacewell is a catch and shoot guy. Austin is a little bit more of a guy who can shoot it on the move. Lacewell is a catch and shoot 2 feet down guy facing the basket. Both capable shooters, and uniquely, I said to our staff all the time, those two guys kind of do the same thing. They're really two players in one. Lacewell's a little bigger, and Lacewell doesn't put it on the floor as well. Austin, but both of those guys are very capable of making shots. Mike Best is a point guard that's just trying to learn how to play. He's capable of scoring. He's a capable scorer as well, particularly in transition. And he was able to make some plays that night as well. So all three of those guys are capable players that we need to actually continue to develop and play better as we move forward.
And also had no amazing hand against Blue Lights as well. 8 of 19 from 3-point range. I know that's something that is good for you guys, and making those threes give guys confidence. So I know that's something that we talk about in Florida where they didn't make them, but now against Blue Lights, you definitely made those threes in that game for sure.
Well, we got better looks at the basket. I'm always confident when we shoot the right ball, that the right shot is going to go in for us at a high level. We're learning what the right shot is, particularly as you shoot a lot of those deep balls. I mean, 19 threes is a lot of threes for one game. And you do need to make a high percentage of those shots. So when you shoot almost 50% from the 3-point line, you're going to be in good position to win. For us right now, it's about figuring out which shots are the best shots for us, not for the individual. And we're struggling with that a little bit, but growing and teaching them daily. How to get out of the I and get into the we.
No doubt, it being selfless, because we talk. I know it's a cliche sometimes, but even in the NBA, we talk about this good to great shots. You might have a good shot, but swinging the ball one more time, you have a great shot.
That's right.
Or if you get downhill and drive with defense, you have a great shot on the strong side or the weak side,
right? Without
having to really run an action front side or back side. So when guys learn that part of the game, it becomes beautiful.
Yeah, well, the important part is to add to what you're saying is that, which is one of the things I think we're having difficulty is you're talking about a weak side shot. That means that the ball has got to move from one side of the floor to the other side of the floor. And if the ball's not passed and passed on time, it can't change sides. So it limits the amount of good shots, particularly the long ones that you can get. So we struggle with that just a little bit with how the ball needs to be moved so that the weak side becomes the strength of your offense. We've got to improve on that quite a bit.
No doubt. And, I know you get it going. And also 44 points in the paint, which tells me you guys are getting downhill as well, because we can score that many points, almost half your points in the paint. That means you're doing something right, you're getting downhill.
Well, we need to get downhill more, but we have size inside. We're 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", 6'8" inside. So we want to touch the ball in the paint with the pass as well. So that's important for us. I wouldn't characterize us as a great 3-point shooting team, and I wouldn't characterize us as a great offensive team, but we are a capable team of scoring when those pieces fit together. And in this early part of the year, we're trying to figure out how to package the pieces. And if we can do that, as we come down to late January and February, we can be a very dangerous team.
And what's good about it is, Shawn and I both know it's good to be able to figure this stuff out while you're winning. It's always a good feeling. So that's why always a good feeling to make sure we filling out the right way while we're winning. And then let's talk about Morris College. Now, I know going at league sucked, but seeing your kids overcome adversity in overtime and win that game after having a lead, letting us get tired and still, overcoming that and still getting the job done when you're home floor last night.
Yeah, so I said going into the game, Bossman, this is a difficult matchup for us. That matchup for us was not aesthetically pleasing prior to the game. And once the game started, what I thought that could be the case was exactly the case. Now, Mars was 0-6. They had not necessarily been in any of the games that they had played. Mars came out and made 11 of 21 3-pointers in the first half. They had 40 points, and 33 of those points were 3-point shots. And so obviously they're in the game, and for a team that has not won a lot, and it had not been close to any games, the momentum was all theirs. We figured out how to get a lead coming down the stretch, and then we figured out how to shoot ourselves out of that lead. That matchup for us defensively was very difficult, particularly after they started to make shots. We had to extend our defense, and they drove the ball to the basket then and rebounded it. And so Mars stretched us all the way to the limits. I am super excited that our players, number one, figured out how to win. All right, we figured out how to win through enormous adversity. We made a play at the end of the game to take the game to overtime. We made a phenomenal play at the end of the game for a block shot to secure the fact that we could go to overtime. And then in the overtime game, we did what we should have done in the regulation and took the ball to the basket and laid it up. So, a win is a win. I mean, as a coach, you never get satisfied. I think I may have spent all last night pouting and complaining and all the things that we didn't do. And all my coaching buddies and the people that I know said, well, you won. So you got to take it the way it comes. So we'll learn from last night because Mars is a formidable opponent that we now have to go to Sumter and play them at Sumter. One of their players said last night, y'all have to come to us. And so that's what competitiveness and basketball is supposed to be like at this level. So at the end of the day, we can't we got to wipe our tears and move forward to the next one because nobody cares about us the fact that we didn't play the way we wanted to play.
Yeah, Shawn, we happy with this. You went 5-7 in overtime, with no threes being taken. So you definitely playing the right way. So I know, like you said, I know it's not the right way you wanted to do it, but hey, 5-7 overtime, no threes, man. You guys played the right way when it counted that extra session.
Well, we hope that the mirror of the last 5 minutes in that overtime will be an eye opener for our players, because in the last 8 minutes of that game, I think we only scored 2 points. All right. And almost all of those points, those shots that we took were the wrong shots, or we missed transition points. We go to the basket and post us putting the ball on the backboard and land it up. We're trying to Euro step and go up and under and just things that are just not fundamental. And I thought we had the right combination of players on the floor in the overtime, the right combination of guys that finished the game out inside of the last 3 minutes of the game, and they brought us through. So we're able to learn a lot about that, how we can piece the pieces together again, and see who's going to do what we need by the game to help us move towards our common goal, and that's trying to move this cheese around here and trying to get some wins.
No doubt. And learning to win is a process. So, I try to tell young men that every year is a different team. You got to learn to win this team, different pieces every year.
Right.
So talk about that, probably teaching a young man how to win and how to learn to win, what winning is really about.
Yeah. Well, I think the first step to that is you got to teach them how to play. Mm-hmm. The young people today don't play like we did back in the days. We would go outside whether it was hot, whether it was cold, and you stay outside until the street lights come on. So these guys don't play. I say all the time, I need players from the playground, not the PlayStation. And we've got a PlayStation era kid, and they don't really know when to pass it, when you're open, when you're not open. You shoot the ball when you're not open. You shoot the ball, you pass the ball when you should shoot it. So we're in the process right now of teaching these guys how to play within a structure, not just thinking about yourself, but thinking about where we are as a collective group. We're challenged with that right now early in the year, but the players have a new coach, and the coach has inherited players that returned and brand new guys. Almost everybody in that mold has been someplace else, even down to just staff. Our brand new staff, and kind of showing them every day is about how we need to do things, how I want it done, and how we need to get it done so that things work smoothly. And so it's just a process. So once we learn how to perform, then you can learn how to win. Because if you create habits every day, and those habits are really good habits, the end result is that you're going to play well. And when you play well, you can win. And so the winning doesn't happen when the buzzer goes off. The winning happens from the tip until the buzzer. And we got to focus on the until. We got to focus on this area in between the tip off and the last buzzer. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on that every day.
No doubt. Last night, Shawn, I almost had a double-double from Shawn Aldridge, 16 and 9. Almost had a double-double with assists. About his play last night for you guys, man.
It's amazing because when I don't even realize as I watch the game that his numbers would look so superlative. All right. In that overtime game, I think he took the ball to the basket 2 or 3 times and laid it up. He's a guy that got 16 and 9, and he probably should have had 25 and 15. So there's a lot of empty possessions that he leaves on the floor. But we play him a lot. We expect a lot of him. His task is mighty for at this point because he's clearly our best point guard. He's got to play 30 minutes, close to it. We're asking him to guard. We're asking him to run the team. We're asking him to push the ball. We're asking him to be a leader. We're asking him to do things that, quite honestly, he has not done probably his entire college basketball career. So, we need him to score the ball, but we also need him to set the table for these other guys that are around that are dependent on him. And so when I look at his numbers, I say my assessment of him as a coach probably is a little bit unfair because those numbers are real. I mean, 16 and 9, 9 assists, those numbers are real numbers. It's just about the fact that I want to be able to see him even do more that I think he's more than capable of doing.
Nah, I feel you, Shawn. That's how the NBA guys evaluate it too. I hear it all the time. Well, you got this, but you could have really had 27 and 13 if
right.
Things went. So yes, you're saying something on the NBA level. We say all the time, man. And I'm glad that he has you as a coach to be able to teach him that because you don't want to leave plays on the court like that. You want to make every play you can. We still it's going to happen. We want to get as much as you can. Don't not leave too much cheese, as we say on the court there, and move it the right way.
No question. Well, he's capable, and we need to get him playing even better for us to be a good team.
And Shawn, you got conference play starting in the SIAC with the Western Tennessee boys coming to town. A little more on Lane. What's your assessment of those two teams? You watched them a little bit on film, getting to know this league, and know what you have to expect coming up this Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to spend the large part of today watching Lemoyne first, and I've watched a little bit of them over the past week. I'm going to dive dead into them today, and over the Thanksgiving break, we'll come back Thanksgiving night and have 3 practices to get ready for them. But man, Lemoyne is big and strong. They actually got a point guard that we recruited, 6'5" guy. out of Ohio, Chris Peoples. That's a really, really good player. Um, they're 6'5", 6'5", 6'6", all over the floor. Talented, tough. Really get to the glass. They're true Memphis, Tennessee kind of nature guys that we hear about. That's going to be mightyful opponent for us, and it's going to be important that we play well, pound for pound, talent wise. By position, they're going to be a very tough challenge for us. So we've got to get really good at being a good team, and being able to capitalize on some of the things that I think that we can capitalize on that will help us versus them. And then Lane is the same. Lane's not quite as big, but they play fast. They play tough. They have good guards. Kind of put a lot of pressure on the ball where Lamar Owen plays some matchup zone. Lane comes right at you and hard-nosed defensively and denies passes, and both teams can score. So, we're going to have to play better than we have played in order to get a win, but it's going to be important that we figure out how to win here and not go 0-2 in this SIAC opener.
No doubt. We're going to claim it right now. 2 victories for you. We're going to claim it right now. In Jesus' name, we're going to claim these victories for you brothers.
Hey, I need them prayers. God knows I do.
We're going to claim it right now. We're going to claim it. And Shawn, let's talk to you, the coach here. Matt Bennett's been waiting patiently with us, man. Shawn, tell me about Coach Bennett and what made him try to you want to hire this brother to be a part of your first staff here at Allen and help you move the cheese here and rebuild this thing, man.
Yeah, well, so first off, Coach Bennett is a guy who's a South Carolina native. As he came highly recommended to me from quite a few people that I respect in the business. Being a South Carolina native and some of his background at the time that I met him, we had some commonalities, so to speak, in terms of how he was available and why he was available and all that good stuff. So it was always good for a veteran coach to put young people around them with energy that aspire to be great and aspire to sit in the seat that you're sitting in one day, and maybe even closer to the time that they normally would. And he knows the area, knows the landscape of South Carolina. He's been a high school coach here, been a junior college coach in South Carolina, went to high school here, has gone to college in the area. So it was a match that seemingly fit. And, very happy to have him here and looking forward to seeing how he continues to develop as he's trying to help us move this cheese around here.
No doubt. Coach Bennett, let me ask you, man, at what point in your basketball journey did you decide you want to get into coaching, man?
Man, usually when you're a player and you find out and you get that unfortunate thing that happen when your ball go flat is either you're going to just live in what ifs or become a coach and try to train the young guys up so their ball won't go flat just as fast as yours. So once my ball got flat, man, I just had to jump in coaching right away.
No doubt. And you know what, man? I got to tell you, my father's a coach. I know my father's a coach, but I told my father, I'd rather talk about it than be a coach. I know I'll probably be fired for how I talk. but for you, man, like I talk about getting that right mindset, that right spirit to coach young kids. Because I know I'm competitive as heck, and I want to win. I know you can't always go with a kid like that. So by having that right mindset and that right spirit to be a coach and help develop these young men and move that cheese.
So my situation is kind of special because I'm young. I just turned 30, so I'm close to their age. So a couple of years ago, I was in their shoes. So how I present myself and get myself mentally prepared is I understand that I was just there. And no, I'm not trying to be your friend. No, I'm not trying to be your buddy, but I want to groom you, not just as a basketball player, but as a man. You're right. So Coach Walker is a tough coach to play for. So I got to, sometimes – pat them on the back so they can get through the motions, but also understand, like, you're going to have tough bosses in the real world. So you can't sit down and mope and complain. You got to get through it.
Nah, no doubt, man. I think that's what helped me in my career is that my father was tough, hard-nosed, old-school dude. So, like Coach was saying about having a playground guy, not the PlayStation guy, because I know we played balls as lights went off. Or the street light came and we still playing ball out there, in the west side of Atlanta. Was like, so talk about that, getting young men to realize, like, hey, this is the way it takes to become good. And we get them on the court with them on the workouts, helping them get better, not what they're comfortable with, but helping them get better that they can actually apply to gain
Yes,
action.
sir. Yes, sir. So basically, we just try to get guys to get in gym, encourage guys to get in gym as much as possible, and we try to emphasize what we do on the court as far as our plays that Coach Walker put in, and we try to get the guys to work on those things individually. So when we get into the practice, they'll look like they're sharp and look like they understand they know what's going on.
And talk about this assistant coach, man. Like you said, you kind of mentioned it, kind of try to, smooth things over with the players. They kind of help them see the light. Was Coach trying to be a light for Coach Walker to the players, and also be able to help them understand him as well. Being that liaison between Coach Walker and the players.
Yeah. So basically, as assistant, I believe that you're the problem solver, right? So you try to eliminate as much problems as you can, so it won't get to the head coach. He got a heavy job of winning games and preparing for games, and he got his own stuff going on. So my job, my baby, how he call it, is to problem solve. If a kid got an issue or a kid got a situation, what can I do what could I do to make sure that problem gets eliminated without him knowing or reaching him, because he already got a lot on his plate. So you got to be a problem solver, and sometimes you might got to have that good cop, bad cop situation, right? If Coach Walker grinding them down, then it's my job to coach them up and keep them motivated and keep their head high.
And no doubt, 100%. And talk about this, Coach Bennett. Talk about South Carolina basketball. You've been from that state. You've been from there, and just talk about the talent in that state and how the game is getting better in high school there as well. And the talent you all can pluck from to bring to Allen University, help you all move the cheese.
Yeah. So basically, when I was in high school at College County High School, Wattsboro, South Carolina, the basketball area that was tough basketball was the Charleston area. So we had the Somervilles, the Fort Dorchesters, the Goose Creeks, the Wando High Schools, the College Counties. We had those schools. So the low country basketball was kind of the best basketball in the state. Right now, the basketball has changed to the upper state, where you got the Dormans, the Grays, the AC Floors, the Ridgeviews, the Wade Hampton in Greenville, the Southside High School in Greenville. Those schools are really taking over. So basically, it's a lot of talent here. Me and Coach Walker had a conversation a lot where we argue, because I swear that South Carolina talent is better than North Carolina talent. And he don't agree. He don't agree. But we're on the up and up with producing good players, and Ja coming out, and Zion coming out, and PJ Dozier, and those guys who coming out that really helping South Carolina get on the map. And at Allen, what we want to do and what I plan to do is try to find those guys that we're not supposed to get, that's from South Carolina, that maybe don't want to leave home, that just missed the D1 ball a little bit, that we could just get in for a year or two and let them compete at this level, at the highest level.
No doubt, man. Upstate South Carolina's doing good. Low country, those Geechee boys down in low country.
There you go.
Those strong Gullah Geechee boys down there, the low country there. Yeah, I know all about that. I've been down there with a few times. Just that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. But for you, man, how cool is it to be at another HBCU school? You South Carolina State. Now you hear it with Allen. HBCU experience, and for you going from a state school to a private school, and it's how is it? How's it different?
It's different just off the fact that South Carolina State is probably a D1, or is a D1, Allen's a D2, whatever. But it's just basketball, man. And when you love basketball, it don't matter if you D1, D2, NAIA, JUCO, high school, middle school, you're gonna take it and love it and want to be a part of it. So being a part of Allen, man, is a great feeling. I thank God for Shawn Walker, man, because he's helping me revive my career to one day be a head coach that I want to be, that I aspire to be, and somebody like him. So Allen's a beautiful place, man. It's a job, and it's a job that I didn't have during the summer. So I'm very appreciative of it.
No doubt. Coach Ben, we're glad you're here with Coach Walker. That's my guy. I know you're in good hands with Coach Walker. He's a hell of a man, a hell of a human being, and he loves helping out young black men.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Hey, he almost made me cry, though. He don't really get soft And tell me how good I do. I almost was in tears over here, man. I'm feeling good.
Don't push your luck.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z. Sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews. You name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.